Welcome to Flying the Metal Flag, and we had the great thrill, Ben and I, of talking to young Christian, the keyboardist of Mob Rules. Their new album, Rise of the Ruler, is out now. It is an awesome release. He is a great keyboardist, young Christian, and he's also a great fellow. It was fun talking to him, so thanks, young Christian. Uh, Sit back, relax, enjoy this interview. It was great talking to you, and yeah, it was really cool. So here he is. This is Jan Christian, keyboardist of Mob Rules on Flying the Metal Flag.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, g'day, Jan Christian. How are
Hey,
you? How are you, mate?
I'm fine.
Oh, beautiful. Well, it's great to be talking to you, mate.
I'm happy. Australia, it's the other end of the world, so I'm very excited to meet you.
And you're on the other end of the world for us, so it's great to be talking to you. So yeah. And welcome to our show. It's called Flying the Metal Flag. I'm Craig, and this is
Okay.
so. First of
Hi.
all, you are part of the mighty Mob Rules. Um,
Oh, thank you.
And of course, congratulations on this new album, which is your 12th, Rise of the Ruler. Um, how did this one come together compared to all the others?
Oh yeah. First of all, it took a long time, much too long. So we had 7 years between our last albums. That gave us a lot of time to rethink, to chat a bit. What is Mob Rules? What is our roots? And we found out that most of the people liked our first two albums, Savage Land and Temple of Two Suns. And for us, it was the same after some tryouts in different styles or ways to create albums. We always thought about getting back to the way we did our first two albums. We did it on Beast Reborn, we did it on Tales from Beyond, but this time we decided, okay, why don't we do it full circle and continue the story that we've written for the first albums and find out how our way of making music was at this time. So our approach was really to make a successor of our first two albums and to generate some kind of essence of what mobiles might be or should sound like. So that was the approach. And as we started to rewrite the story, to hear the old albums, it suddenly happened. So it feels very good for us to create this new chapter from our legacy.
So it sounds like it all made sense for you, did it?
Yeah, it made sense. Yeah, and this time we wanted to tell a whole story. So we also did our videos, we did our outfits, everything that counts for this dystopian story stuff, and even the songwriting that has to follow a certain narrative. And this felt very good because now it feels like a concrete, like a complete product and not just a bunch of songs that are somehow connected. They're really connected and everything is connected. And that makes us very happy with the result.
I was just listening to the singles, Future Loom and Dawn of Second Sun, and I'm
Yeah,
impressed. I'm impressed. They really come together really well, and you've done a lot of homework there.
thanks. Yeah, the singles was a hard choice which songs we put out at first. Our first single was Back to Savage Land, and this one, even the title says, okay, we want to go back to Savage Land. So that was a way to come out and make a point, okay, we are back, and we are back in the Savage Land. And then you mentioned Future Loom. We like the song because it has this vibe of old times, I guess. When Sven and Klaus, who are the main songwriter, first came with the idea, I was instantly reminded of my childhood when I started hearing metal. So back in the end of the 90s. So that's how power metal sounded at this time. And what roots exist, like we are an old band and we came from that time. And I was very happy with this song with Future Loom because it feels like a song I would have liked in my beginning days when I started hearing metal. And so we said it's a good single to say, okay, we are a band from that time, so why we are allowed to make music like this.
It's great so far. So far, so good. And fingers crossed the album comes out and blows people's minds.
I hope. Oh, thank you. Thank you to hear it. If you write music, then of course you're in your own bubble, and of course you like what you do, and then it goes out, and you get your first feedback, and it's so good to hear people like you telling us that you like it, because for us, of course, we like it. We did it, but it's not
Really good.
it's not clear that
I was
everybody
always
feels the same.
sorry. I was
No, no,
always
that was
partial the power metal side of things, and I started out with bands like Manowar back in 1990 odd, and I thought, no, there's got to be better stuff than this, and I thought I love some of this stuff. I'm going to explore it a bit further, and came up with some odd bands like Blind Guardian and Iced Earth, and they're a little bit the same, and yeah, I'm trying to think of names, but I just can't. I'm a bit starstruck.
Oh, thank you. That was exactly my beginning. When I was starting with metal, it was exactly the same band. So in my youth, the short before finishing school, at every party, we had exactly these bands. Blind Guardian was my first dive into metal, and then yeah, the other one you mentioned, of course. We had parties where we chanted some Manowar and everything like this.
Yeah, that was the day.
So,
Those,
so what is it like in Germany? Because Germany pretty much is the home of power metal. There's no doubt about that. So there must be a lot of bands over your way.
Yeah, it's a good place to live when you like metal, yeah, and of course you get a lot of influences from bands like this. Um, for example, now Wacken is currently running. It's not far away from my hometown. This is the first year I'm not in the mud of Wacken. But yeah, it's good that you have a quite huge metal community. Of course, there's other music genres are bigger. You have a lot of pop, but you will always find some metal dude somewhere or some metal bar where you can go and even when you're on the festivals, and this influences your your musical involvement. So when you got people you can connect with and talk with, or you have a lot of small festivals where you can go, and in each bigger city there are good concerts where you can go and meet other people. So there's a huge and very friendly metal community. And as a musician, for example, I come from a very small town, but we have one culture center where music happens, where concerts, and where young bands can get a chance to play for an audience. And for us, it was we listened to bands like Guardian and so on and said, okay, we want to do metal as well. And then we got a stage where we could practice and where we could play with our shitty stuff that we did back in the days. But then there were younger people in the crowd who liked what we do and also started becoming musicians. And so it's like a legacy or a torch that you can pass over. And you will always find some nice guy who can teach you to play keyboard or guitar or whatever. And
I
that's
found the
great. I think
same thing.
so.
I found the same thing.
Yeah.
I was about 17, and I grew up on bands like Anthrax and Metallica and Iron Maiden and all those famous names, those extra famous
Mhm.
names. But yeah, and I got into playing bass, but that's not what we're here to talk about, really. But um, again, with the album, it's really well, from what I've heard, it's really impressive, and I know I can't praise it enough so far.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
is.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is an awesome release. I really enjoyed listening to it, and um, I think one thing about it is you're growing as a band too. Is that something that you're feeling as well?
Yeah. Yes, we had some tough times in the past 7 years because at first we had luck because when Corona kicked in, we just finished Beast Reborn, we just finished 3 tours, and we only had to skip one gig. So it was perfect. Other bands just had a release and could do their tours, so we were finished. But this meant we were totally at zero. But Corona came and we had nothing. So we were finished. It was the time where we had to start a new album, but then of course nothing happened. We couldn't meet each other and nobody knows how it's going on. And then we had to recover from this a little bit because to get the machine running again, then we had some internal struggles, that our drummer has left the band during this time. So we had to rearrange how we work. We did a lot of talking, to be honest. We had a flip chart in our rehearsal room and talked about, okay, how can we change? How can we make better music together? And this process helped us in the end to do a different songwriting and do a different approach so everybody knows how the other people felt. It was like a psychotherapy inside the band. And out of this, it was a very fruitful and a friendly atmosphere that we created, where we could do our songwriting. And I hope, and I guess a little bit this, you can hear it in the album that we were all by ourselves more than before.
That's right. You're all on the same page, and you leave your egos at the door and all that sort of thing, and just work together as a unit and create. Just create what you love and what other people seem to love, and it's good, man.
Thanks,
It,
yeah. Yeah.
I was just going
It's
to
hard to
say it's like
maybe
a renaissance for the
it's
band,
a what?
a renaissance, a rebirth.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe it's like this, yeah. After 7 years, I would say you can call it like this, yeah.
And I
Yeah, and
know
it
it's
is.
only 7 years, but if you know what I mean, it's like a rebirth
No,
for the
no,
band in terms of here we are, we're back, even though we didn't leave, sort of thing.
yeah, I'm totally with you, yeah. And even the idea to go back to the first albums underlines this because it was like, okay, now make a cut, and now we redefine us there. For me, it's like a circle. And to be honest, when you think about the first albums, the band has changed a lot since that time. Klaus is the only remaining member from that time. Um, but during this time, most of our members are now still, they're even longer in the band than the first lineup. But it felt good to do this, to see it like a circle. So we start where we came from, but with this new sound, with this new style, with these new possibilities. Imagine back in the 90s, it was way different to create an album, to write music, to produce it even. Nowadays, you can see what here's one of my speaker here there starts my keyboard stuff. So I could most of the keyboards and the other stuff I could do in my room here in my home studio.
That's
It
Oh
wasn't
that's
wow!
it.
possible in the 90s. So
The thing with technology, yeah, it's a step up from what it used to be. But are you still a fan of the
yeah.
analog, a good Roland or something like that? Good
You
Roland
mean
keyboard.
from the keyboards or
Yeah.
sorry? Yeah. Quite. I use I can tell it's a huge package from it's a French manufacturer called Arturia, and they do great emulations of all the old machines. So as you mentioned, the old Roland or Oberheimer or DX7 or so on. So I got a software version of all these old machines. So I wish I would have the original ones, but it's way too expensive.
Oh, it's
But
yeah,
it's I
crazy.
love to I love to work with these old sounds, and even in this time during the production, I did a lot of research. My YouTube channel was full with people playing on old instruments and explaining, okay, you can tweak here, and here's the Moog where you can change the sound and so on.
Like,
So it was fun to dive into these old instruments. And this Arturia package, I don't have an endorsement, but I can really say they do a great job in emulating all these great machines. And this is awesome nowadays. You can have your Mac with all these sounds that you like and love, and they are just virtual and sound awesome.
yeah, we both of us saw a band, Night Flight Orchestra, and the keys player there was remarkable. He was absolutely remarkable.
Oh, yeah, I love this band. And yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned this one because I listened a lot to Night Flight Orchestra in the time when I did my keyboards because I like the sound how the keyboard player uses these old instruments but uses this for a modern sounding production. So he was one of my influences. So great
Yeah, it's
mention.
awesome how they do that and still have that 80s and 70s type vibe. So what about you as a keyboardist? Who have been your influences as a player?
as well.
Ah, yeah. It was fun in the old times when we started our first metal band. It was a time where keyboards were not so appreciated, but I was a keyboard. I started playing keyboard for 7 years, so it was fun for me to explore how I can bring keyboards into metal stuff. And of course, I listened to a lot of prog metal at this time that was heavy, full packed with keyboard, mostly too much, but of course, I can mention bands like Dream Theater or Symphony X. I will never be good as these players, but it's great to listen to them and how they work with sounds. They're also maybe you know Arian, it's a Dutch band or a concept band. They do a
Oh
lot of great
yes.
stuff with the
Oh
keyboards.
yeah.
And I saw them live, and I will see them live this year. So they play an anniversary show, and I got tickets for this, and I love it. Joost van der Broek is an awesome keyboarder, and it's great to just listen to him and how he works with his old sounds and with his analog stuff. So this is of course an influence, and I also listened to film music when it came to our album. We have this dystopian Mad Max style feeling, so I just picked the soundtrack of Mad Max and just listened. Okay, how do they do the cinematic soundtrack? Of course, we have some cinematic parts, but the heaviest task for me is to calm down with the keyboard. So our music is in the focus. There's the guitars, there's the voice, and it's often that the keyboard players try to somehow get a spot or get attention, and it feels like okay, I play keyboard, so I must play loud in the front, and it's annoying in power metal. So what I try to do is to reduce my playing so that the guitar and the singing is in the focus, and I think it's so important because I can add color. And I what I totally love is when I get a song maybe a pre-production with guitar and bass and everything, and then I add my keyboards, and then it's so interesting. When I do some orchestra parts, it suddenly sounds like Nightwish. When I add some organ, it suddenly sounds like Deep Purple. And when I start some whatever some mellotron stuff, so it goes into a prog direction, and so you can so massively change a song with keyboards. And even sometimes people ask me, okay, I don't hear the keyboards. And when I switch them off, then, oh, wow, the song sounds totally different. And that's what I try to give a color, to give a feeling, to give a certain emotion into the song, and not to be in the first row, but for my second row, I can so dramatically change or shape the song. And that's what I try to do in Bob Woods. So
Yeah, because one thing that stood out for me on the record was your keyboards set atmospheric style to the songs.
that's good to hear.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was
Oh,
was
sorry,
my vision.
I didn't expect that silence, but yeah, it sort of made it pretty haunting. Is that the best
No,
way to
it's good.
say it? Yeah. I
No, no,
hope
I'm
that
happy
sounds
with
like
it.
a positive to you because it really
It
sets
is.
a really good emotion.
Yeah, nee, nee, it's exactly what I wanted to achieve with it. So
Oh,
that
beautiful.
was the plan.
Brilliant.
One thing we wanted to ask you is about the band's name. So you can ask this
Oh,
one. Yeah.
yeah. Did it come about from any reference to the obvious Mob Rules album with Ronnie James Dio? I think it was who was singing at the time.
Black Sabbath.
No, yeah, it wasn't Black Sabbath. Of course, we are a lot since when people don't know us, they expect a Black Sabbath cover band,
Yeah,
but no.
yeah.
So
But it's
how
the
did
same
it?
with Machine.
Machine
We, we
Head
must
Yeah.
we, we
Band.
must
We'll ask them the same thing
they
in
are
chance.
So how did the name
yeah.
come about then, Jean Christian?
It was long ago before I joined the band, but I know the story. Back in the old days when they started to found the band, of course, there came the point where we had to think about a name, and they were sitting in the rehearsal room, and everybody put in some ideas. And then a dude, it was a friend of the band at this time, entered the room, and he had a cap from Lynch Mob from the band, Lynch
Oh
Mob,
yeah.
and it says Lynch Mob Rules. And they looked at him and said, "Ah, Mob Rules, that sound cool." And they didn't had the album in mind, so they just were okay. How can we call our band? And then this Lynch Mob Rules guy came in, and okay, Mob Rules, this is cool, and that's how the name comes from.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you've got a cool name anyway, the Mighty Bob Rules.
Yeah, and he normally asks this, but I was gonna say, what's your favorite thing about the metal music and metal community and enjoying the what you do and who you meet and everything?
Oh, that's a good question. And this is one thing that's really, really important for me because you can see I got long hair and I got it since I'm since I'm a young boy. So I always felt very welcome in this metal community. It was great for me when I was a teenager and I yes somehow was searching my place in the world, and then I got into this metal community where everybody is so friend with each other, and I like that. Imagine going on an Iron Maiden concert. There you have people who are 18, and there you have people who are 70. So you have all the ages there, and
Yeah,
what I so appreciate is that young people start to discover the old music and appreciate it, but also the old guys listen to the new music. So suddenly you, for example, some years ago, our tour manager, who was in his 50s at this time, he came and, oh, I just discovered metalcore. It's cool. Do you know Parkway Drive? So music that came much later than his musical taste, but everybody is connected with each other and everybody does something. Our new drummer, he's in his 20s, but it feels like he's an old guy, or for him, we seem to be like young guys. So age doesn't matter. And this is
yeah,
something that I really appreciate. And if you go on a festival like Wacken, it's like you can talk to everybody. Go to some camp, say, "Hey, you got beer? Yeah, you're welcome." Or "Do you have a beer? Yeah, here is it for you." And you can talk. And even now, when I would met you somewhere in my hometown, I guess we would instantly have a good chat, talk about music, have a beer together, or whatever, and it feels like we're somehow the same kind. And
Yeah,
this is
we're
what I like in
connected.
the metal community. Yeah. And what I totally like is metal gave me a lot in my youth, and even when I started playing music and to pretend to be some rock star. But now, since I'm in Mob Rules, I have the chance to give something back, and this feels very great for me to contribute to this community and yeah, to tell my story, to write lyrics, to make an album, and somehow touch people. And of course, we are not the biggest band, but it sometimes happens that somebody comes and says, "Hey, this certain song helped me through a hard time," and every time I hear whatever Ghost of a Chance, it reminds me of a special moment in my life, and I'm happy. And this is something that I really, really appreciate, and having the chance to be part of this community, to shape this community and give something back. That's important for me.
Oh, fantastic.
you're on a winner, mate. You really are. And the new album, what's it called? Sorry.
It's Rise of the
Rise
Ruler,
of the Ruler. Sorry.
and it's out on the 22nd of August. So thank you very much for your time, young Christian.
Thank you
Been
very
great
much.
talking to you, and hopefully you can tour to Australia one time.
Oh, this would be great. Yeah, I've
It's a
never
long
been
way, I
there.
know.
Because
It is, yeah, but
you know you're very welcome here. Because
I appreciate
you
this.
got two
Yeah.
guys here that will be willing to go to the concert. That's for sure. Because
And buy the album.
yeah, because the album's fantastic. You're a great band. So thanks for your time. So we wish you and the band the very best with the album and all the upcoming tours. So thank you very much.
I thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Don't
No
Great
go.
to meet
worries,
you.
mate. See you, mate.
Don't
Bye.
go.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this interview here on Flying the Metal Flag. I really hope you enjoyed it, and so does Ben. So we would greatly appreciate it if you click the like button, or even better, subscribe to this channel, because there's so many interviews that are coming soon. So please stick around for them and even more, and even the ones that are here already. So please take care and keep it excessive, but most of all, let your metal flag fly high.